Welcome back, everyone. We're here with another installment of the Moloco Minute, where we like to take a little bit of your time for the opportunity to get a deeper look into some of our most insightful and interesting personalities that we have here at the Moloco family. And also, we may just get a bit of a chance to see what makes each member tick. Today, we have our creative director, Adam Widener, joining us, man. Adam, how are you doing? How's it going? What's going on? What's the deal? All that good stuff.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. Thank you for being with us. If you don't mind, let's dive right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can you go a little bit into like a brief summary on where you previously have worked?
Oh, for sure. I think I spent maybe 6 or 7 years working in adtech, primarily working with advertisers and integrating campaigns into the mobile landscape. Much of my background sort of lied in building and optimizing playables for the mobile arena. And I guess that's really where a lot of my passions lie. Really kind of the exciting part about creativity is designing things that people can really interact with and kind of reach like a different engagement level and being able to explore that through advertising. Yeah.
What was it always your goal to be in the ad tech space? Like, was that always something that you wanted to do, or is that just something that came along, as
No, I've always wanted to do this. As a kid, I mean, I was pretty much raised by television. So commercials and just sort of that consumerist culture was
right?
shoved down my throat at a young age. And so growing up, I always wanted to, play around in some sort of media format, whether it be advertising and especially the creative side of it.
But speaking of like working in the creative space, obviously with Moloco, being a company that directly involves itself with so much technology and so many creative people, like what drew you to the company itself?
At the time, Moloco just seemed kind of like a hurdle to overcome. And it kind of presented itself as an opportunity that I can get involved with at the ground up. It's obviously nowhere as big as it is now. So, there was limited resources, and I was kind of looking at as a challenge to get in there and really kind of fine tune my skills. And they also offered, a little bit more opportunities in terms of management, which was something that I wanted to sharpen up a lot more. So getting in and working with bigger departments and really kind of getting out of the bubble that I had been in for the past few years was sort of the big pull for me to go into Moloco.
Definitely. And I mean, I'd assume that, and going into like a upstart type of situation like that, where there's so much going on, there's so many moving parts. Adaptability is huge, right? So like, how important, even just for your team in particular, is being adaptable and having adaptability.
Oh, definitely. With anything design or anything related to creative, there's always kind of this balance that you have to walk from being really prepared, but then also anticipating, last minute changes or directions. So it's moving all of the time, and not just in some of the projects that we're working on, but the technology and even the client base. It's just ever evolving. So there's definitely times where you can't settle on a direction too tight because that at some point it could get flipped up on its head.
It's gonna flip. Trust me, people, he's not lying on that also. I can speak firsthand to that. So
and that's okay. That's just the nature of the beast,
Yeah, for sure.
But also, I would want to say that like the mindset of adaptability, I think, is really important, because if you're willing to put yourself in those kind of situations, then I think you have the kind of behavior that searches out those experiences where you have to think on your feet and you have to pivot hard at any given chance. And honestly, that really kind of makes it more exciting. And I mean, I sort of feel anybody that's worth anything in creative kind of has to master that. Being able to have that mindset, because that really sort of dictates growth.
Absolutely, man. And I like from our perspective, from the marketing perspective, um, being able to pivot with speed, and then also having your team being able to move in alignment with you has been something that has been just so rewarding, as a team member here. Like everybody being on the kind of same page, it kind of helps you be able to comfortably make those moves, because sometimes even if you do want to switch and flip the switch, or go to the next thing quickly, sometimes it's difficult to do if there's not alignment with the team. But being able to be on a team where that is the case, it's been
Mhm.
super beneficial to just kind of unlocking, even the creativity on our side also. So
Definitely.
that's awesome. That's awesome that you guys have that ability to maneuver in that way. And that kind of leads in honestly to my next question, as far as just, what are the like top three qualities? Obviously, we talked about adaptability, but what are the top three qualities that are kind of needed, or that you've noticed that have been really beneficial in order to have a successful career here with Moloco?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, first of all, I think listening is a really big part of it. Asking questions. I mean, ad tech is a relatively young industry. I mean, we didn't have the type of cell phone technology that we have now 15 years ago. So it's definitely ever evolving, and it's evolving fast.
Right,
So there's always like something that, I don't know or I'm unsure of. So being able to sit in on, biz meetings and engineering meetings, even though if I don't totally understand it, I'm getting kind of a holistic view of our whole operation. And that sort of helps me kind of form my own ideas. And so when projects come up where these kind of requirements are needed, I can almost kind of be two steps ahead. So listening
right,
and asking questions and really trying to better understand kind of what the whole landscape is just really kind of helps just the overall process. Um,
right,
and then also to kind of piggyback off that, I think using feedback constructively, I think is really important. We definitely try to be as proactive as possible when it comes to problem solving. But when you're dealing with a lot of different campaigns and a lot of different brands and different stakeholders, you need to kind of take their feedback and use it constructively to ultimately make the end product, worthwhile. And then for me, when I first started, I really made it a point to reach out and just talk to a wide variety of people. I mean, even if it was departments that I wasn't going to have much interaction with, Moloco was very encouraging when it came to, reaching out and making connections with people. And I think that really worked out in the long run, because today I might run into a situation where I might need to talk to this person, or I might not, or I might need to talk to that person, and creating that initial sort of baseline connection with them really kind of goes a long way, because then you're not so coming out of left field.
absolutely, man. I 100% agree with that. And that's something that I noticed here too. Like just being in this space, um, there's um, a interconnectivity from team to team that was refreshing, for sure. And especially when I first came aboard, man. And so like being in the space like that, where you're kind of forced to bounce from team to team and utilize the feedback that you get, and also different perspectives, right? Because outside of the creative space, you may have a totally different idea of how something is supposed to get done if you're coming from a product background or a marketing background or a biz background or whatever the case may be. But then being able to take that and kind of codify all of that information and then turn it into something, that makes sense, has been like super useful as a skill to do here. And so like I totally feel where you're coming from on that. You know what I mean? Um,
Adaptability.
that's yeah, adaptability, man, 100%. Shifting gears just a bit here, and kind of going into, I guess the misconceptions of our industry, right? To you, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about the industry?
Uh, I think people think that because it's on a mobile device that it's like quote unquote easier to conceptualize and build. But I oftentimes find that it's harder because real estate is limited. You either have like a static banner and it could be 300 by 50, that's really small. So you have to cram kind of the whole essence of what you're trying to say in kind of this small space. So there's a lot of data and research that goes into that before pen even goes to paper. And then also sourcing assets and making sure that you're in line with whatever that the client is trying to say, and distilling that down into the most clear and concise way possible. And that's really hard. That's really hard.